Hello, welcome to the Citrus Garden. If you're new here, my name is Christina. If you're not new here, hi, welcome back. It's great to see you. This is a reading for Leo, Sun, Moon, or Rising, or if you have any other significant Leo placements, there may be a message in here for you. So Leo, to get started, I already pulled the base level of your cards today, but there was a message coming in the last couple of days for you. I saw this video on Instagram explaining, like talking about a specific type of pine cone that certain pine trees produce, where the pine cone is actually sealed in a layer of resin, and it's sealed and protected. But when it's exposed to fire, so for example, if there's a forest fire, it melts, the fire will melt away the resin, and inside are seeds. And so these seeds are specifically, like that pine cone is specifically created for, in case of fire. So that like once, if there is a forest fire and all of the trees are sort of killed off, these seeds will survive and start growing. And so there is an evolutionary advantage to that, where because the canopy has been removed, the trees and the space has been cleared, there's no competition for these seeds to grow. And so they actually grow really well because they're sort of the first, they get a head start, and there's no competition. The ground is also rich with resources as well. And that was the message coming in for you, Leo, which is very interesting because I feel like there is something here with the cards coming through, but I'll just give you sort of the overview of what I'm seeing, especially with this card coming out with the tea leaves, the fire, strong emotion, passionate love or hate, but that it's coming through more as the symbolism of fire, like a forest fire. Where I feel like maybe there's some sort of like difficult event that's coming through as being like fiery in whatever way, but and perhaps there's also loss as well. So I'm gonna describe these cards first. The tea leaves, because you have egg, success assured, with good plans, and teardrops, great personal sorrow. And then you also have crib, birth of a conception or of a child or enterprise. And then you have fire and elephant, so the passionate emotion. And then you have a long journey, either physical or mental, will leave you wiser at the end. So what I was getting with these cards is that there may be a situation where there is some sort of loss. Because the metaphor of a forest fire doesn't have to be so intense, right? Like it could be just a situation that is stirring up a lot of emotion. There could be some sort of loss involved in this, especially with the teardrops, like in whatever way that is for you, or an ending of some sort. But actually what that situation is causing is this new beginning for you, Leo. Because I'm seeing like it's coming through for you as being like some sort of either opportunity or I don't know, whatever it is. We'll get tarot cards to get more information and details on like what exactly this new beginning is for you, but it comes with like the loss of something. So, which is very interesting. But at the bottom of the deck, Leo, you have Venus, the deer, and tortoise. Slowly but surely getting ahead, which is a really lovely combination of cards today. Because you have all this sort of divine feminine energy here with the deer and Venus. And the Venus card, and you have Cobra underneath the deer, which is that element of fire. I do feel like there's something like something beautiful that's being born from difficulty is just what's coming through with that. The Venus card comes in with this message of pleasure and pain being interconnected, right? Like you can't have one without the other. And so there's this feeling here. I feel like you're in the midst of some sort of transition, Leo, because it feels kind of like there's an overlap here between the old and the new. That's what it's coming through with. And so there's an overlap of the old and the new. The old feels kind of like that's the thing that's going through some sort of painful process, but the new is the pleasure. That's how it's feeling. But you're in this sort of transition. And with the animal cards out, you got Firefly, right? Like this is the new thing, whatever it is for you. The Firefly is this burst of inspiration. It does come in with Ace of Wands. It's also like the light and the dark. Like this is coming through as being like the seed that is freed from the resin encased pine cone. I feel like there's also something, because pine cones are also a symbol of awakening, right? Like with the pineal gland. So there may also be some sort of awakening process for you, like something opening up. Like if you imagine like I don't know what they're called, but like the little parts of the pine cone that like flare outward, like that's how it's coming through with this, the Firefly. And it feels like so it does feel like it has something to do with inspiration or passion. But what I'm also getting, especially because the egg here is coming out with like the golden egg in this deck talks about the heart chakra, but I always get with that card this message of like needing the right circumstances in order to reveal the message or the thing that is desired, right? And I feel like what's coming through here is almost like an unfolding of some sort of like it's coming through as like the next level of something for you, and it could be like the next level of enlightenment or whatever. If you want to put more of a spiritual lens on it, it doesn't have to be that though. It could be whatever it is. It's the next level for you. But that you needed to be put in an uncomfortable situation in order for you to get that next level opened, if that makes sense. Like it was activated by fire is just what's coming through here. Like the resin encased pine cone, right? Fire was necessary in order to free those seeds, or the new beginning needed fire in order to activate it or something like that. But what's coming through here is that actually the fire is also causing a bit of either discomfort or like some sort of loss. But it is coming through as like this is a new beginning, Leo, because you have here the bat, which of course talks about closure and endings of cycles and things like that. The completion, the culmination, but I feel like the bat energy can also be a bit uncomfortable because it's like flying in the dark or not being able to see clearly, like this aspect of blindness or like having to rely on other senses other than sight, you know, metaphorically, in order to find your way around. Because I feel like whatever it is that is like either ending or coming too close, it feels kind of like a cycle that has been very stable for you for a long time, which is very interesting. And then you have here the snake, which is another card that's sort of emphasizing like this potential, the seed, right? Like the seed that was encased in the resin, which is so interesting. Because the resin card in the Alchemy deck, which I am using, I'll pull up those cards for a second. The resin card talks about like stability, like something that has been protected. And that's what's coming through with this. There's some aspect of your life Leo, or some aspect of maybe even like yourself or your soul that has been protected up until this point, but that fire is activating the ending of that protection, so to speak, and that's not a bad thing. But I do feel like there may be this feeling of vulnerability that's coming through with this, or but what like with the snake, this comes in with this aspect of like so much potential, but also I'm getting with the Ouroboros, the snake eating its own tail, that this is an ending that leads to a new beginning. Okay. I'm going to show you the alchemy cards that came out. So the first one is sublimation, which is the card about the next level of enlightenment, let's say, of awakening. So it could be very spiritual for you, but again, it doesn't have to be. This card also comes in with a reminder of making sure that you are giving back to others. It's this energy of being of service to other people. And then you have the despicable face, which is really interesting. Because this card talks about like the aspects of self that we feel insecure about, or the aspects of self that has a bit of shame attached to it, or discomfort, or something like that. It is coming through with this feeling of feeling vulnerable about something. And then you have the benevolent guide, which is a really lovely card to have, because this card talks about having an ally, and that even when you feel alone, you're not alone, and that all of your steps are guaranteed to succeed because you have this guide that's helping you, so that you can't really make a mistake, right? There's no real wrong move that comes with this, whatever this is. I feel like there is something, though, about like, okay, they're like, there's another message coming in with that. Just from my personal experience, like, it could have something to do with this, just taking it if it resonates, where when I was going through a very difficult period in my life, like, I didn't have a lot of trust in myself, where I was always asking spirit or the universe, whatever you want to put there, guides. I was always asking for confirmation and signs, like, constantly. Like, it felt kind of like I couldn't make a decision by myself unless there was confirmation from my spirit guides that this was the right thing to do. So maybe you're in that part of your journey. And like, there were times when, like, if I didn't receive confirmation or synchronicity, I had so much doubt about whether or not this was like the right thing or that kind of thing. So maybe you're going through, especially with the firefly, this can come through with this energy of like something that's very fleeting, or something that like flickers on and off. It's not very stable yet. It's like you kind of have to like take advantage of it when it's there, because it could quickly leave. Like there could be something about that where it's like, whatever this new thing is for you feels kind of like sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. Like, it's not stable, it's not consistent yet, but I feel like that is what you're working towards. Anyways, that's that story that was coming through for you, is that like, maybe you are feeling like there's not a lot of confirmation from universe, spirit, guides, whatever word you want to put there, about whatever this new thing is. Like, or if it's not necessarily spiritual related, it's like there hasn't, like, it feels kind of like with the bat energy, it's a bit, there's still a bit that's unknown about whatever this new beginning is, and you're really being asked to trust. Especially with that feeling of like wanting confirmation or wanting reassurances, like that can also be part of managing anxiety. So just keeping that in mind. They're like, and it's wanting to confirm for you that you do have a guide here with the benevolent guide. Even when you might feel like you're alone or that there isn't confirmation, it's like there is guidance available for you. And to trust. That's very important. So that guide energy might actually come in the form of an actual person for you, like especially with this card, the egg, where it's kind of like, because what I'm getting with that card is like in the story, in the Harry Potter story, book 4, where he needs to figure out the clue. He needs to figure out the clue of what the golden egg is supposed to be telling him. But it's like the deadline for the event is coming up. And so he starts feeling anxious about it, right? And like he doesn't know what the clue is saying. He doesn't know what it is that the next event is. So he can't prepare for it. Like it's coming through with that kind of anxiety. It's like, you know that there's something that you need to do, but you don't know how to prepare for it. That's how it's coming through. But of course what happens is that he has an ally who gives him a hint to do this thing, and it ends up being successful, right? Like just in time kind of thing. So there may be something, especially with anxiety. Not that there's a solution, but something that helps with anxiety is to like put more trust in yourself. Put more trust in yourself. I feel like that there's a message about that for you, Leo, like trusting in yourself to be able to get through whatever it is that is, like it is feeling kind of fiery. I feel like there's also this message here, because I'm seeing you as the deer today. This sort of like feminine energy, and with the crib, it's like this card comes in with this message of like after parent, like a mother has given birth, like there's this like glow and attraction and calmness and presence that is attached to this one. So I feel like in some way you have already, whatever it is, like tapped into or birthed this new energy. It's like it's already there. I feel like it's already there. It's already been birthed in whatever way that is metaphorically, but it's at the firefly stage where it's like it's not stable yet. It flickers in and out. It's in the new stages. That's just what's coming through. And the Cobra comes in with this message of, like, this card has been coming up so much in the last few readings. It talks about, because it's more fire, right? But it talks about a teacher appearing when the student is ready. And so that's this message of, like, I feel like you are ready, Leo, and there is a teacher who's appearing to help you with that process. A teacher, a guide, a friend, an ally, like whatever that is for you. Could be an actual person, but it doesn't have to be. It is feeling, though, like the next level of something. Okay, I'm going to pull some tarot cards. Okay, there was another message, Leo, with the tortoise coming out at the bottom of the deck. That change is gradual, and I know that's obvious, but it's really wanting to focus on this, like, to reinforce this message for you, like, especially if there's, like, something that you are working towards or you have been working towards, that sometimes the goal feels really far away, and it might feel overwhelming if you think about it in such big terms. But the message that's coming in for you is to, like, focus on, like, the little steps, the little wins, the moments of small victories is how it's coming through, like, or taking things day by day, or, like, focusing on, like, the little tiny details of something that gradually get you closer to your goal. Okay. Sorry, I'm laughing because there's another Instagram video series that I've been following, where there's this man who lives in Portland or something, Oregon or whatever. He took this like big rock. It was like a very jagged looking rock. And he had this goal of kicking it every day, like taking it on a walk and kicking this rock until the point where it turned into a sphere, like spherical. And he did it every day, right? And every day he would weigh it before he started and then weigh it after his walk. And there would be a difference in a matter of grams, right? Like a couple of grams lost each day. To the point where now it's actually a sphere. Like, it's like, if you watch the whole journey, like, you can see how this, like, it was really jagged. It was a rock, right? Like, just a regular, normal rock. But now it's turned into a sphere because of the constant repeated action. I feel like that's also part of it for you. Like something that's like, especially with the tortoise, right? Like slowly but surely getting ahead. It's like having a very tangible measure that gets you closer to some sort of goal that feels very far away for some reason, especially with the snake coming out here, because this to me talks about potential. It has potential, but it's not yet solid. And with all of these animal cards out, like, it's like all of the backgrounds are dark. I feel like there's something here where it's like you don't know necessarily the path forward is how it's coming through. You might have a goal or an idea in mind, but you don't know the path forward to that. And what's coming through is like day by day. Don't try and get to the end goal immediately, because it's not going to happen like that. Just focus on like each day. It feels like there's something like tangible that is coming through with this. Like each day there's a little bit of progress, and a little bit of progress over many, many days ends up with a lot of progress, right? Like that's how it's coming through. A little bit of progress each day. That is, I guess, the message for you. Okay. Yeah, I feel like it's like the message, like it's like, don't focus on the end goal, if that makes sense. Like, don't try and get to the end goal immediately. Five of Swords coming out in reverse, which is interesting. King of Pentacles. And then Nine of Pentacles. Maybe it has something to do with abundance. Yeah, Six of Pentacles, which is interesting. Because, I feel like there's a situation here, because this Five of Pentacles from this deck, when it's upright, talks about an unfair situation where somebody's taking more than their fair share of something. But because it's coming in out in reverse, maybe there's something about that that's changing. Like this, because okay. I don't know, Leo, if there's a situation for you where there was a lot of competition or something like that, because that metaphor with the tree canopy is coming in again, where it's like there was like not enough space, not enough resources, not enough light to grow for certain seeds. But it's like that, it's almost like everything else has been wiped out is how it's coming through, where there's a situation or an environment where anything that was competing with your energy before has been almost like taken off of the field, is how it's coming through. I have no idea what that is for you. And it's kind of like, so now where I feel like in the past, there may have been a situation where you felt you had to compete for resources or whatever it is. I'm just saying resources because you have 3 pentacle cards in a row coming out next. Maybe you had to compete. Now there's a situation where it's like you don't have to compete, or like there's like a suddenly, or I don't know, maybe not suddenly, maybe it's been over time, an abundance of resources for you is how it's coming through with the King of Pentacles, 9 of Pentacles, 6 of Pentacles. An abundance of resources for you and this new beginning, whatever it is. And I feel like there's actually this energy here of like maybe you are also being asked to give more, Leo, of your energy because of all of this abundance. Because the 6 of Pentacles to me talks about like giving what you can. If you have a lot to give, then give. If you're in the position where you need to receive, then you receive from people who have more than you, right? Like that's the sort of energy that I get with the 6 of Pentacles. But it's also this like collaboration energy where it's like everybody brings what they can, right? Like that's how it's coming through. And it creates like a fulfillment of needs being met, because you're receiving what you need, but you're also giving to others who are in need, if that makes sense. So it creates a really harmonious co-creation kind of energy with the 6 of Pentacles, which is really lovely. Because it's like, I feel like it might have something to do with like correcting an injustice here with the 5 of Swords in reverse, where it's like maybe there was a situation where like people took more than they needed, so it became an imbalance, if that makes sense. Or I don't know, whatever it is. I'm going to pull more cards. But it is feeling kind of like there's, you have King of Swords coming out next. Well, it's coming out with fairness now, right? Like, I feel like this is almost like, the King of Swords is such an interesting card, because the King of Swords can be, so it's Aquarius energy, but it doesn't have to be. King of Pentacles is Taurus energy. So they're both fixed energies. This is almost coming through as like someone with authority. I'm just going to leave it vaguely like that. Someone with authority who's overseeing this exchange is how it's coming through. And, authority and discernment, like it's like someone who's making sure that things are unfolding in a fair manner. That's how it's coming through. Like something like this is the person who is almost like, I don't want to say, so it could, like I'm seeing this as like a judge, for example, right? It doesn't have to be that exactly, of course. But the metaphor for this is like this person is the judge. They're making sure that the consequences of this situation are being distributed evenly, is how it's coming through. Like fairly, I should say. Where if there was a situation where somebody took more, then they're being asked to give, right? Like that's how it's coming through. It's correcting a 5 of Swords energy, for sure. Page of Wands. Page of Wands. That's this firefly, right? This new beginning that has something to do with like passion, inspiration, fun, playfulness. What's this Page of Wands? Judgment. This Page of Wands come like out of all the Page of Wands, and in all the other decks, this card comes in with this a little bit of melancholiness, because it kind of looks like she's about to go on some sort of adventure, but it's almost like she has to leave home. And that's part of the discomfort, maybe. Like, whatever it is, there's some sort of energy of like either home or stability that I feel like is changing. Especially with the teardrops, like something about a loss of something. Four of Swords and the Emperor. And you have Four of Pentacles. So that's 444 there. That might be a significant synchronicity for you. Four of Pentacles, Four of Swords, and the Emperor is the fourth major arcana. Leo, if you feel like you are leaving something stable, or like there's something about like, okay, so with the Despicable Face, this card comes in with the word insecurity, right? Like, where I feel like in like that word comes in with a lot of baggage about like physical insecurities, or that person's insecure, that kind of like baggage type of energy. But in terms of just like the word insecure, the security aspect is not there, right? Like that's how it's coming through for today for you, where it's like, I feel like there's some sort of change that has to do with your security, like how you feel safe, like protection is a really big one. There's an aspect of vulnerability there, not necessarily in a negative way, or that like there's like insecurities, like that kind of thing. It feels more like something that maybe has been very stable for you is no longer reliable, or it's not or it's something that's going through some sort of change. And I feel like part of the reason why that is for you, Leo, is that situation was not giving you enough space to grow, is how it's coming through, where it's like I'm just going back to the forest energy, where it's like there's not enough light because the canopy of the trees is blocking it. There's not enough resources because all the other trees are taking up the resources. It's that kind of thing. So for you, it feels kind of, but it's like you have been a seed in that forest for such a long time. But that the forest is now changing in some way. It's almost like this part of the forest is going through a forest fire. I know that that's such an extreme image, but that's what's coming through. So it's like, even so, some aspect of your security is going through some sort of change, but at the same time, it's freeing up resources for you so that now you can grow. So it is feeling kind of like this feeling of like your security is actually increasing and changing and becoming more stable, but that in the process there's some sort of change that's happening to the old existing secure, stable environment that you have been in up until this point. That's how it's coming through. But what it feels like is that you are quickly moving into the next level of security with the Emperor, Four of Pentacles, and Four of Swords. Like, that's extremely stable and reliable. Like the Four of Swords talks about like integrating a truth. You have Two of Pentacles coming out next. So many pentacles. You have 2, 4, and 6 out, and 9. And then the King. And 2, 4, and 6 are very stable. 9 is also very stable. For pentacles, like so it could have something to do with like your physical resources. That's been coming up a lot. the Two of Pentacles to me also talks about like an active process of building something, or like creating more stability in something as well. Eight of there's the Eight of Pentacles. Like you have 2, 4, 6, 8, and 9 of Pentacles. This feels like it's resource related. You have 3 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. But this is another thing, especially if you're working with the earth element. It takes time, right? Like time is almost like the one of the most important factors of earth is that it takes time, right? It's that energy of like day by day, gradually working towards your goal. There may be something about independence or like financial independence that's significant in this with the Nine of Pentacles, or work in whatever way, or it definitely has something to do with resources though, or earth. It could have something to do with work. Okay, could I get a couple more cards for Leo and then we'll close it off? So maybe this is something about like a new job or something like that. Like the next level of a job, maybe. King of Cups. You have 3 kings out. King of Pentacles, King of Swords, King of Cups. The one that's missing is King of Wands. And you have the Emperor, which is a very fiery energy anyways. Which is interesting, Leo, because you are the King of Wands, right? Maybe that's part of it, because instead of the King, you have the Page. There's something here that makes you feel younger, or maybe not younger, but like less experienced than you are, is how it's coming through. And that's where this sort of energy of feeling vulnerable, or with the despicable face, like something that maybe comes in with a little bit of shame or embarrassment or like insecurity, where it's like whatever this new beginning is for you feels like it has something to do with an aspect of self that feels like it doesn't have a lot of experience here with the Firefly. But it's like you're working towards that. And you have like 3 kings here to support you. What's interesting is that they're all in the other elements, right? Like King of Pentacles, King of Swords, King of Cups. Maybe you're feeling out of your element in some way. And then the Queen of Wands. And the Star at the bottom of the deck, which is this card about healing. That's so interesting that the Queen of Wands would come out. Maybe sunflowers are a symbol for you. There was a reading that I did a few months ago now. It was a Taurus reading, so I'll link it above. That was called Sunflowers in Amsterdam, so you may want to watch that one. Maybe there's a message in there for you, Leo. But this talks, I feel like there is something about like fire being used for good, and I do feel like it is good, this use of fire. The fire is coming through as inspiration, but that the fire is also revealing something, or causing an ending in something that has been preventing you from growing, is really what's coming through, because it's like fire was necessary in order to break down some sort of protective seal that's been around you, or that's been preventing your growth because it wasn't time yet, maybe, or because the circumstances weren't right, or because even if this seed were to like try and root before the fire had come, like the seeds might not have survived because there was too much competition, right? Like that, it's that kind of energy. I feel like there's something here about like, almost like a path or an environment is being cleared for you so that the seeds can take root and actually succeed. That's how it's coming through. I feel like there's something about that. But there may be discomfort about that for you, Leo, because I feel like there's something about like, almost like, I don't know, feeling like embarrassed about that, or like there's like a lot of attention on you, or Page of Wands, like maybe a lot of expectations or something like that, like because it's kind of feeling like you feel like a page amongst kings. That's how it's feeling. Very interesting. Okay. Anyways, the message that is coming through with that is, again, like, take it day by day. You are making progress. You're improving on something. You're working on something. Change happens gradually. Okay. Yeah. You have wisdom, protection, and activating. And then you have power at the bottom of the deck. Okay, I'm going to read the activating card, because that, of course, is what your whole reading felt like some sort of like activation by fire. Know that your movements in this lifetime, whether you roam far and wide or ground deeply in one place, are an effect of how your energy needs to activate on the physical plane. When you desire to travel, to share, to move with many people in many places, you do so because the energy you're here to transmit needs to touch those lives and places. You are like a wind-blown seed, spreading far and wide, sometimes never knowing the impact you have. When you root deeply in one place, trust the effect you are having with those closest to you and the environment in which you are now settled. The energy you activate and transmit in this single place or with these few people is enough to change everything. Like the acorn that lands and grows in a barren field changes its environment over time, so do you. The energy you're activating is directly tied to your innate wisdom and desires. Trust them and trust yourself. Move when you're inspired to move and grow deeper when you're called to rest. Okay, Leo. There is something here of like, I feel like you are this wind-blown seed, or it doesn't have to be wind-blown. You're a seed that has been activated by fire, and that you are actively changing your environment is how it's coming through. You're having a significant impact on an environment that previously might have gone through some sort of difficult loss. Because it's like, it's almost like you're the first seed to start growing after a forest fire has been cleared. That's how it has cleared out the trees. So it's like you're changing the environment. That's how it's coming through. So that can feel like a lot of pressure. So just keep that in mind, Leo. I feel like it is something that you have to work on. But that you can't really make a mistake because you have guidance and you have support. And I feel like this is something that is aligned for you. It's going to be a long journey though. So just keep that in mind. Okay, Leo, I'm going to leave it there. If this reading resonated with you, please like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for sharing your energy with me, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.